Hello and welcome to another episode of DIDIOTS podcast, where we're two idiots and we talk about DID. That's it. That's the podcast. Can that just be the intro? That'd be so funny.
That'd be good. That's a perfect intro.
Perfect intro. Just hello, welcome. Well, we're talking about Persecutors today, anyway.
The big scary evil altars. Ooh woo.
Oh, let me turn down this music a little bit. It's a little loud. Let me turn you up. That was my bad. Rip. I am totally capable of doing this. It's fine.
Make sure no one's muted.
Yeah, I'm not muted. So
Sounds
at least
good.
there's that. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about like our experience with persecutors. We're not gonna go into like details about like what types of persecutors there are and like stuff like that, like unless we have them, and then we'll like talk about them. But like if we don't experience it, we're not necessarily gonna talk about it because we don't really know how to talk about it.
Yeah, like we can only really talk on our own experiences.
So like I don't have any like Avengers or anything like that. I don't even know necessarily what an Avenger. Like I have a vague concept of what an Avenger is, but like but it's like we have just like our persecutors manifest themselves very commonly as intrusive thoughts. I'm actually gonna move this in front of me because I'm not gonna be using my keyboard for a bit. But yeah, so we have just like, I don't want to say just like basic persecutors because that just sounds like not right, but like an Avenger is someone who wishes to attack in any way the past or present abuser. Okay, that makes sense. Then we might have one of those. If it's just that definition, then maybe. But like we just define him as a persecutor. He defines himself as a persecutor protector, because like he thinks about everything in a way to protect the system, but it's not helpful coping mechanisms.
Yeah, that's how I feel like.
We also say
least,
misguided protector is something else that we use in this case.
Yeah, that's definitely how like Nathan can be. He can be like, I can tell that his actions are always because he's trying to be protective, but he's just really bad at his job. Who said that? Gotta love it when someone takes over midway through your sentence.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it was Axel. It's always Axel.
But he's actually really close to the front. But he wants to talk about like, no, just let me fucking talk about it. You don't have to like say what I want to talk about. You don't have to let it be like a thesis. It doesn't have to be like a thesis statement. All right. This is not our lit classes. I'm not out a lot on social media, but hello, my name is Carson. I'm one of the alters that's been in the body for a while. And in my case, like 99% of my memories are trauma. And I feel like that's the case with a lot of persecutors, is like a lot of their memories are trauma. And I think that's just why we ended up this way.
That's definitely how I ended up, is because a lot of the memories that I have an emotional connection to. our fights, our negative times. So.
Yeah. And yeah, Silent, we have persecutors that don't want to help the body. We are going to talk about those too. But they are not allowed to front for this podcast because they cause us to have like flashbacks and stuff. It's not a fun, or in panic attacks, and no, it's not a fun time. So they're not going to be here. They're not going to talk about their own experience. I can talk about my own experience. Because I'm somewhat of, like...
Can be well behaved.
Yeah, we'll put it that way. But, like... different persecutors, like, do different things. Like... I get really defensive about our trauma.
Systems.
Yeah, like I get really defensive about our trauma. And sorry, I'm laughing at stuff in chat. I get really defensive about our trauma, and people don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be like, well, this didn't happen the way you said it did, and I'm just like, I was fucking there. But like that's... And then I get frustrated, and then I start lashing out just because they're invalidating my entire experience. And so, like, but it's like I have a lot shorter of a fuse than the rest of the system.
Mm-hmm.
And once that fuse is lit, it's fucking lit. Like, there's not much you can do besides let me burn it out, you know?
Yeah.
Some protectors try and, like, handle me, I guess, like... try and like force front on top of me, and it just doesn't work. I don't know. But like being a persecutor with like self-destructive tendencies too is not
Definitely.
It's not a fun experience, and people don't take us seriously because they think we're just being, especially singlets, if they're seeing it from an outside perspective, if they're seeing the situation play out where someone like me switches in and I'm going off and doing all these things, the other ones in the system are actively trying to stop me, and it's like a war going on in our brain the entire time that something is happening. And like they don't see the internal war.
In front with us.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn you up real quick.
I think I'm not necessarily allowed in front alone.
Yeah. Like, I'm shocked that I'm not like one of our alters, Scott, that constantly has gatekeepers watching over his shoulder. Because I shouldn't be trusted either. But they see that, I think they see that like I'm trying to make positive memories for myself that aren't just trauma, and I'm like trying to do things that I like to do. And I think they just see that as like, okay, you're wanting to, you know, progress in the system and progress with your life past being a persecutor. I mean, not necessarily past being a persecutor, because it's always going to be part of who I am. But it's like redirecting the anger elsewhere. Because, like, I'm not, like, I think you could consider me an Avenger. I think you could consider me an Avenger, but I'm not, like, but, like, the target of my anger is dead. So, there's nothing that can be done about it. So I just kind of fester. And the anger just boils up, and it just, I don't know. And that's not like how the rest of the system functions. The rest of the system doesn't get angry like I do. I get fucking angry. But
I'm really feeling the aesthetic with multiple persecutors are just like, just sitting in the front right now.
Yeah. We're trying, like, the gatekeepers are doing their best to keep certain people away, but yeah, we feel that. But it's like, and no one understands us either. They just think we're like these evil fucking things.
Right,
like,
we're stereotyped as the evil alters, the evil, scary.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna hurt people, alters, and it's just like, that's not.
But they forget that DID systems are more likely to hurt themselves than anybody else. And that is a proven thing.
So many of us persecutors are often more preoccupied persecuting those inside the system rather than anyone outside of it.
Right. And like, but like, one of our ex-persecutors, Jason, like he fused. He wouldn't like actively try to be a dick, but everyone thought he was a dick. Like outside of the system, but like inside of the system, it was just like, I don't know. No, hold on, taking care of something. But not. No, I can be here. Let me be here. I can be here and behave. It's fine.
If you're going to be talking about us anyway, at least let us say our experiences.
Yeah. My name is Sin. It is very weird fronting and talking, because I mostly do internal things. No.
He is strange the first couple
no,
times.
Sin. Sin. My name is not Sim. Sin. Yeah, my name is Sin. There is a protector standing over my shoulder, watching my every move.
Of course.
And this is what life is like as a persecutor. Like, I'm not even one with self-destructive tendencies. I just, you know, fuck with the other people in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like, there's no like rhyme or reason behind it. It's just like, I don't know how to explain.
Because it's fun.
It is, but like, I still formed for a reason, and it's not like I just exist for that, you know? But God, they're not even letting me think. They're like watching my thoughts. What do
Like,
they
are you
think I'm
gonna
gonna
let us
do?
talk or not?
Like, what do they think I'm going to do? But, like, they wouldn't even let me front in therapy. And I'm like,
Wow.
like, isn't this when you want me to front?
It's like, don't you want me to, like, blab about my feelings and shit so you can reform me or whatever?
Yeah, don't you want me to exist so you can actually understand me? And then they, like, prevent me from existing. And, like, watch me. It's fantastic.
So fun.
Okay, well, they're letting her up here, too. So Siren is also up here, but she's not fronting yet. But, like, there are some persecutors that just, like, don't want to help the system. And there are some persecutors that we've literally had to put in a box, which I don't agree with. But that's a whole other thing. But it's probably because I'm one of the persecutors that actively is working against the system. And so I probably just don't see their point of view. But I understand they're trying to do this for their own protection, right? Like, I understand why they're scared of us or whatever. Like, they're supposed to be. But it's not like we asked to be this way.
Right?
It's Siren now, by the way. It's been Siren for the past couple seconds. But I just don't understand the rhetoric that comes from, like, even systems that it's like, you have to be this, like, good person. Because, like, as a whole, we're a good person, but there are parts of us that are horrible people. There are parts of singlets that are horrible people. And it's just, like, but, like, it's if they want to feed into those parts. But, like, it's a difference in, there's a difference between feeding into those parts and actively trying to do something to understand us. Like, there's a complete difference between understanding us and just shoving us aside. But, you know, we get shoved aside. Oh, is the music's too loud? Okay, let me turn it down. Excuse me. Okay. Our loudest persecutor is a 7-year-old. That is amazing, actually. I've never seen that before. And I'm just saying this as a persecutor. That's just fascinating to me. But, like, I mean, we have some like teenage persecutors. Like, Carson is 17. There was, like, a trend going around TikTok where it was, like, the stab her, like, the backstabber by Kesha. And it was, like, and it was, like, oh, the inner child doing this, inner teen doing this. And we were just, like, our little's doing this, our middle's doing this. And it was, you know, the backstabber stab her. And all the middles are, like, stab him. And I'm like, no, we are an adult and can't do that. But, like, everyone can get intrusive thoughts like that. That's the thing. Is it's not just us. It's not just people with mental illness. It's literally anyone can have intrusive thoughts. And they can be distressing. And they are distressing. And especially when you can't get rid of them. And they show up in the middle of nowhere, especially when you're talking about them. And you and it's affecting the people who it's not supposed to affect because we don't front. But that's beside the point. But like y'all, like, I don't know. I feel like y'all like get it though, because y'all.
We have a lot of persecutors in this goddamn system.
I have a feeling why we don't have that many is because the gatekeepers are hiding them.
I know that there's definitely still a lot of, like, hiding of the system that's going on. Because there's still...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we feel
Gotta
that.
love the fact that we're only, like, we're coming up on a year about knowing about the system.
We've known about the system for 3 years, and we're still finding people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're still finding, like, higher tiered gatekeepers. Like, we're still finding, like, more persecutors. We're still finding, you know, just fictives upon fictives upon fictives. Apparently saying that triggered me out. I'm not a fictive. I'm the host. But for some reason, the way that she said that, she just, like, slipped out of the seat. And it was just like, nope.
Just whoop someone else now.
Yeah, I'm the default setting.
The whirlwind.
If someone slips out of the front, it's automatically me, and it's bullshit, and it's the worst.
I feel that earlier today I was just like, listen, I love helping everybody out and being host and all that, but also, as soon as they let me back into the inner world, I'm out of here. I'm taking a break.
Yeah, I felt that. But it's like, God, there are too many people trying to front. Hold on a second. No, so, it's Vaughn. I just wanted to interject something. Like, working with persecutors who don't want to help the system is difficult because they don't cooperate with you. And they literally will work against you. And it's not a persecutors, like, they need to be unstigmatized, like destigmatized, but they're also like one of the hardest parts to deal with during DID. Because our persecutors, like, will harass us with mental images. And but
yeah,
they
can get rough.
Yeah, they harass us with mental images, and we can't, like, escape them, and, like, closing our eyes makes it worse, and whatever. And so we literally have protectors for all of these persecutors, because especially in polyfragmented systems, we just have so many fucking people.
So it's like there's one persecutor whose job it is to be a dick about one thing, and then another persecutor whose job it is to be a dick about a whole other thing.
Yep. And they just deal with completely different things, and we're just like, thanks. Like, we know you are important. Please stop harassing me with mental images.
It's like, yes, I know we're going through shit, but do you have to, like, keep insisting this? Because that's what we've kind of been dealing with lately, is apparently not a new persecutor, apparently someone who's been here before, has been particularly active lately. So that's been fun.
I see. Sorry, a lot of us are not used to fronting because when we front, it's different.
It is weird. It's kind of funny.
It's not
Suddenly
like a
being
normal...
in the body.
Yeah, but it's not like normal. But like when we front, it's not like a normal fronting. Like I'm talking about like persecutors in general. Like I mean for us, 'cause, like when we front, it's not like normal fronting because it's like super dissociated, and like trying to sit here as like a normal person and talk about it is super disorienting. Especially when they've just let me out of the box.
Welcome out of the box.
They're like, we're watching people very closely and you're going right back in the box, but you're allowed to talk. And I'm like, what happened to... I'm not saying that. We're on Twitch stream. Never mind. I'll tell you that joke later.
All right. Do you know that one kid show that's like out of the box? Out of the box.
No, I don't. Wish we did.
It just keeps repeating in our head.
Oh my god, everyone's fighting for the front and trying to like keep him in the front and not let him just like walk away into the inner world is so... We have like so many gatekeepers guarding the door right now.
It's like, sit in your seat and talk if you're gonna be here.
It's either the chair or the box, Jigsaw. What's your choice? I don't like the box.
Boxes are boring.
Yeah, so basically what had happened was I was like really tormenting the system with mental images.
As you do.
Yeah, and sorry, something just happened. So I was tormenting the system as one does, and with mental images, and they, including some of the persecutors, shoved me into a box and put me in Amethyst's room. That is where I've been for the past month. But like, hold on, I'm just trying to keep up with chat too. But like I can't hold the front without, because they're like controlling like how I think and how I speak, and they have like such tight reins on me right now. I can't. He willingly went back. He willingly went back in the box, which is shocking. He's just like, nope, I'm done.
Like
and
when you cage train a dog.
Yeah, basically. That tongue just, yeah, there's just a especially when you first start fronting, yeah. I mean, I think Amalgam used to be a persecutor, like when we were a kid. He used to scare us a little bit, but like he's an emotional protector now. He has been since we found him. But like when we were a kid, he kind of freaked us out. But like he did like just like innocent. I don't want to say innocent.
When Vex very first showed up, he was more on the rude side. He was more on the hey, calm down, everything's gonna be fine. More on the hey, shut up. Stop crying. You're gonna be fine, kid.
Yeah. Like, do you have any persecutors turn protectors?
I feel like Ajax.
Okay, I can
Because
see that.
he's still very angry and lashes out a lot, but it's always been like, again, sort of in a protective way.
Yeah. But like, it just really pisses us off if people just don't understand persecutors. And like, we still communicate very stigmatized in our system. Like, we still communicate in a very stigmatized way about persecutors within our system, and we're like trying to address that. And like, because in our experience, the persecutors are like pretty shitty, but like, we know that they have the capacity to not be shitty. It's just they're like, some of them are actively choosing to be shitty, some of them are just traumatized, some of them are, I don't know, it just depends on. And like, and it also depends on who you're talking to about like how we feel about persecutors, and because obviously the persecutors are going to be a hell of a lot more favorable persecutors.
Right. I know, like, part of the reason that we like Tia as the host is because her kind of philosophy about this, since finding about the system and about like what it's like having persecutors and how, you know, how persecutors are, has been, again, kind of her mantra has been, if you're here, you're here, and that's okay. She's been very much, like, weirdly open and accepting about the persecutors, and it's like, how
are you fine right now?
Like, how can you like sit there and be like, yeah, you're being kind of a dick, but I still love and appreciate you, and I'm glad you're here, and I want to get to know you, and I want to get to know what you're about, and I'm just like, how the fuck are you like that? Just, and that's why she's the host.
That's fair. If we had someone like that, they should probably be the host. I mean, we did. Then she fused. We probably had someone at some point for everything, and then they probably fucking fused. But like, a lot of us persecutors don't want to fuse either. But like, for me, I feel like that's the only way that I'm ever going to heal properly, is if I fuse with someone else and get someone else's memories. But like, the rest of the persecutors are just like, no, and I'm just like, but maybe, and they're like, no, and I'm like, but please.
So that sounds kind of nice, actually.
I'm like, that sounds kind of nice, because doing the work to become a, like, we know how to fuse altars. I don't know how to become a protector. I could just fuse with a protector and see what happens. Because we know how to fuse altars, we just can't fucking do anything else with our system yet.
The moment we just know how to find people.
That's a mood.
Because I think we're steadily approaching 300, and it's like, oh.
We're at wait. Active is 170 something. In the book is like 230. It's a lot. We feel that.
Yeah. I think last I checked, it was at like 270. 280.
Yes, the book. I mean the book. We have a journal full of our altars. This is...
I wanna do that at some point.
One of these ones from Walmart will fit 240. And we're rapidly approaching having to use the second journal. I remember when we had 20-something.
Same. I remember when the number that I was given was 38, and then 42.
I remember when the number I was given was 25. That bitch lied to me.
It's like, there's not going to be more than 38 people. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the fact that Amelia has an entire book full of names. Don't worry about it.
Some we literally only have names for, and that's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
We try keeping a journal, but no one can ever keep up with it. Yeah, that's been a part of our problem, is people keeping up with it. We're trying to, like, make a routine around it. I'm wanting to start
journaling again, because we used to journal for years.
Yeah.
But trying to get other people to actually write is gonna be...
Right now, it's mainly just Carter writing. Because he's just grounded enough.
Mm-hmm.
Brango blah.
I feel that with all the switching we've been doing, we're starting to get a headache.
A little bit. I'm also drinking, which doesn't help the switching.
Yeah, probably. We got really blasted earlier.
It'd be like that. It do.
Fun.
And we're having a lot of, like, micro switches, like, in between people that are in the front room, and it's like, woo. Oof.
We've got this fun little thing going on where there's a second fronting room on top of the regular fronting room.
What?
Where only one altar is. And so she keeps, like, fronting a little bit because she's a persecutor too.
Okay.
And so we keep, like, switching fronting rooms. It's fun.
That's so great. Gotta love it. Like, there are a few people in the front.
Another thing about, like, persecutors is, like, sometimes we can definitely be perceived as, like, oh, that's why, like, I don't know. I feel like a crazy person sometimes, I guess.
I felt that. But, I don't know, just, like, having a persecutor is not, like, inherently a bad thing, but, like, our brain like, sorry, I'm dissociating, like, really hard.
It's alright. I definitely get it.
Well, no, like, do you have any protectors turned persecutors? Did you have any go the other way?
Someone just mentioned Nathan, so probably him.
I don't think, like, we have one.
He's like, he like tries to be a protector. He's just really bad at it and really angry all the time.
I mean, I think that's what happened with Carson, is, like, he was originally intended to be a protector, and then he got warped at some point with all the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, the poor bastard just, like, just got exposed to too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
We have
we're
one
getting at eggs,
persecutor
so-
who's a persecutor because she hates how the body looks.
Yeah. That makes sense.
She's just like, I hate being stuck in this ugly body. And fuck you all for making me be here.
Yeah, we have a couple that are just like, yeah, we're gonna not front because we want nothing to do with the body.
Mm-hmm.
You ever just have the gatekeepers be like, here's a little bit of information as a treat in the middle of a conversation? Here's a little bit of information, just as a treat. And then you're like, this is the most inconvenient time for that information.
It's like, thanks for that, I guess.
There's just like a gaggle of persecutors and a gaggle of protectors and all the gatekeepers, and there's just too many people in the front.
I can understand that. Ooh.
But like, persecutors like don't have to just be like someone hurting you or hurting the other people, or like they can literally just be like, we have people harassing us with mental images, we have people who talk to us in a negative way, we have people who like just generally aren't kind in the system to the other people. It just depends.
People who try to constantly convince us that we're faking this. Like,
They forgot about me until I was like, hello, I am also a persecutor. But like my experience is like, I'm very like physical with my anger. Like I'm throwing things. Like I'm not a good influence on the system.
yeah.
But it just, I don't like, and I don't even know how to talk about it without sounding like I'm trying to feed into a stereotype, because like we have alters that fit stereotypes. Sorry to break it to you, fake claimers.
Right. Sometimes we do fall into stereotypes. Leave us alone.
Yep. And it's like, we have a couple persecutors who like just don't like they don't fit society's expectation of what someone would be. And I'm just like, that's an absolute valid thing like to happen, especially with like your experience or whatever. Like I don't even know why I split. I don't have any memories. Like every time I front, my memories are taken away. Like I don't have any of that. And so it's like, I just have this general awareness that I am supposed to do this like shitty shit. And that's really about it. That's
Like, another thing is, like, sometimes, like, a really common interject type is an abuser interject. And
Mhm.
so, like,
and that's
what
one of
about
the most
those
common.
alter?
That's one of the most common tropes too, of
Mhm.
like media, and people are like, "Oh, you can't have interjects," and I'm just like, "Sorry, what about this trope?" And I'm just like, and and it's just like tropes feed into stereotypes that feed into somewhat real things. Because like obviously you can have an abuser interject. Obviously you can have, you can be a serial killer and have DID, but you can be a serial killer and be a singlet. Like it just depends on, who
It's
you
not like
are
we're
as
more
a person.
dangerous just because we happen to have, like,
Yeah.
there
It just
happen to be
depends on like
alters
what the
who are kind of
collective
a dick
morals are.
sometimes.
It just depends on like what the collective morals are. And like hell, even the collective morals not everyone agrees with. And then a lot of times our morals get broken because of that. But it's like we're not hopeless though. Like just try and communicate with us, You're gonna deal with this the rest of forever.
Like, we're all stuck in the same goddamn body together.
Yep, we're all fucking stuck in this flesh prison, so let's just deal with it. But
Sure, sometimes some of us are gonna be dicks, but, like, it's like a fun little game. Of how long can I resist you till you make me like you?
that's fair. And for some reason, why do the littles take to us? That's my thing. Is why do the littles love me? Is it just their caring nature and they're like, you are a broken man and I want to fix you? Like is it
Yeah,
just...
that's about it.
Yeah, that's
pretty accurate. Speaking as an age slider, who is best friends with one of our persecutors, it's because we can tell that, like, you're not that bad of a person.
You can see past the hard exterior that we put on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting because our littles are just like, I'm going to attach myself to you. And I'm just like, I would prefer you didn't.
Someone just shouted blame anime.
Mood. I don't know what that's a reference to, but mood.
I think it's just because our host's hyperfixation is an anime all about, like, seeing past people's rough outer character to who they are on the inside.
Oh.
That even people who are mean can be kind and stuff like that on the inside, and it's just like,
Yeah, but then you go into that thought and you go into like actual people and like really really bad people and thinking about how they were probably like decent people to some people, and it just really fucks you up.
Yeah.
Because we do that, and then because we have people in our system who are like, oh yes, our abuser was a great man. Then we have people in our system that is like, you realize they're why we have DID, right?
It should be like that.
But then the parts of the system are just like, but praise him. And I'm like, but no. And like, I don't know. That's part of why I'm glad he fused. So I didn't have to deal with him liking him anymore. Because we had, like, someone who had, like, a really, really good relationship with our abuser, like, fused. And so, like, all the persecutors are like, yeah! Like, come to the dark side!
Oh, man.
Alright. Any, like, final wrap-up thoughts? Besides...
Persecutors we're alters too.
Yeah, we're alters. We're fucking valid, dude.
We're stuck in the same goddamn body with you.
Yeah, just let us do our thing. Let us create happy memories for ourselves. Figure out what that might mean. It may take some time to figure out what that means. Because we're still figuring out what that means. Because I don't know what I like. Everything is boring to me.
It's difficult to be a good person when you don't know who the fuck you are sometimes.
Mid?